Hi, for those who don't know me, my name is David Campbell. I'm the owner and manager of a company called Your Business. We focus a lot on supporting businesses, and you'll see there our whole driving ethos is about transforming the way people think to develop a freedom to succeed. I'm finding particularly difficult at the moment getting around in this whole lockdown situation to talk to various people and talk about how I might be able to assist them. So I thought I'd put together a video prospectus, and I hope this does find you well. I hope it finds you succeeding in the business that you're doing. So I'd just like to introduce myself, and I'd like to walk you through what are some of the things that we can offer to support you as we're going forward in this particular time. A very quick synopsis of Your Business. As the owner, I run a public speaking component of the business where I have authored a book called Observations from the Quarterdeck, The Grand Adventure of Business. It's a culmination of, in essence, 20 years in the Royal Australian Navy as a manager, as an officer, followed by a further 20 years in the public, private and not-for-profit sectors as a senior manager. And just bringing those concepts out and helping to develop teams through a public speaking process. I also offer coaching. I'm a certified international coach with the John Maxwell organisation, and I have actually developed a bespoke coaching framework called Observations. It is linked to the book that I've written, and I offer that in both group and one-to-one coaching sessions. Obviously, facilitation. I'm also a certified DISC consultant as opposed to just a practitioner. I do a whole range of things, lunch and learn meetings, so 1 hour meetings around that, mastermind groups about helping teams develop. I've also got access to a number of business tools, and there's a list there that you can have a look at. Equally, please go and have a look at my website, thestateyourbusiness.com.au, and see what's available there under assessment tools. And I will talk to you shortly about the one at the bottom, the cultural risk analysis tool, because it's something that I've found that I think might be very, very useful for you as a manager leading teams in this current environment. I also offer a range of online training, and I've partnered with a number of organisations. Some of you will know Best Practice Consulting. I'm also associated with the Canberra Institute of Technology, delivering training and facilitation on their behalf. I am part of the John Maxwell team. It's a team of 25,000 coaches worldwide, and we've got the ability to tap into those coaching resources all around the world. So if you have people in, for example, Brisbane who require some coaching, if that can't be done by me, I can connect them with a certified John Maxwell coach and trainer and help facilitate that process. And I'm also associated with Hudson Recruitment. I do a lot of work on career transition coaching for them. So enough of that sort of very brief introduction. I mentioned to you that I wanted to look at the cultural risk analysis tool. I've been working with the cultural risk analysis group and since before the COVID-19 situation, and when all of that came up and offices were being closed down and people were being removed into remote work, it was a conversation we had about, well, how do we actually assess how a person is managing, how they are functioning remotely? And the question came up, what is actually required to be managed? If your people are competent people, you don't actually need to manage them. You need to manage the things that are impacting their ability to work. And so we've worked out a process, which I'll quickly walk you through now, to just help you understand the depth of assistance and almost immediate assistance that we can provide you. We've come up with a virtual cultural risk assessment. What we do is we create a virtual digital company. So basically taking your organizational structure and breaking it down simply into 2 levels. level 1 being a manager of people, and level 2 being people who are being managed. And we can do the survey across your entire organisation, contractors, projects, teams, departments, whatever it might be. And we can do it from the CEO or the board down. There are a range of reports that we can provide to you, and I'll walk you through some of those reports in a moment, but you'll see them listed over there to the side. You know, technology, performance, virtual team, requirements, system, communications, well-being. There's a whole range of these, and there are 3 reports offered as standard with the package, but we've also added a further 3 that are just being offered during this time as a way to help you manage your teams and understand where your teams are going. We start by actually breaking down what your cultural values or your company vision and values are all about. Most organisations that I deal with, particularly public servants, they have done this already, so it's just a matter of getting it into the system. But what it allows us to do is then look at the various review types, and you can see those listed across the page here. And since this has been produced, we've added a number of additional, which I'm happy to talk to you about at length at a later stage. So we choose a particular review type that we want to undertake, and basically we're looking in this one at team dynamics. It then allows us to send out a survey which takes about 10 minutes for each individual to answer. We can make those surveys anonymous, or we can actually attribute the responses to an individual. But what we can do is we can actually look and through the digital structure, we can assign people to a particular cost center code, or therefore a particular manager. And you can see we can do it internationally, we can do it nationally, we can do it locally. But it allows us to actually look at and drill into teams and see what sort of engagement there is. But not only that, we have the ability to turn around and put a dollar value against the level of disengagement. And so we produce for you this dashboard, for want of a better term, and we can then drill down into that dashboard and actually understand a greater level of depth within each of these. So as we drill down into this team dynamic, into the Australian version, we can then look at all the sub areas within Australia. This one's looking at the head office and then looking at the Brisbane office. But again, we can then look at the reporting that is associated with that and drill down even further into a bar graph that actually looks at the questions we've asked and how many people have responded versus how many people see this as a point of risk for them. And in giving you that understanding, we actually can allow you and coach you and help you to focus where you need to put your effort to eliminate, in essence, or mitigate that risk that is existing. And so it gives you literally a point in time snapshot. Now, the beauty of this is that we can do these reports any number of times over a 12-month period. So, for example, we could do a report now with everyone remotely working. We can assess how that's all going, what's happening. And then as we transition through that change of people returning back to work, or even that change of people struggling with having to homeschool versus send their kids back to school, whatever that change is, we can reassess at each of these sort of milestones, and we can then tailor the support that we give all of our staff so that we're getting peak performance from our teams without necessarily just looking at output, because output is I suppose a point in time, whereas we can do this assessing right through an entire period and benchmark against what we were at the very beginning. So the grey lines are indicating the number of employees who've actually selected that particular criteria. whereas the red lines or the red bars are showing the employees where it's an unfulfilled or not met criteria. And that's where your risk is. So the more people that you have choosing that as an unfulfilled or not met criteria shows a greater degree of disengagement, in essence. So, you know, we have these dashboard reports. We can then take those and look at them for team performance. We can drill down into that again, a different level, and build this picture for you, which will allow you and your management team to totally structure and focus what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve in terms of getting your team efficient and effective as we move forward. But it'll also give you the supporting, I suppose, return on investment figures to show that the engagement programs that you're putting in place are actually returning value for money. So that's the critical tool that I wanted to show you. Again, we're back down now to State Your Business. My websites are listed there. There are a range of websites that I've got, and also my contact details. I would love you to make contact with me. I'm happy to organise a Zoom meeting, have a conversation with you. I know that the product that I've got through my various strategic partnerships are going to help you as a manager, as an executive, leading your teams and having those managers lead their teams. So please make contact and we can have a conversation about how we can move forward.